Don't give love without respect. Not possible. Problem is, where do y'all get your idea about what love is? From television, movies, 90210, Dawson's Creek, Felicity, the Titanic. My daughter begged me to take her to that flick. I made the mistake and did. Had to debrief her for 2 hours. One of the most abusive relationships I've seen on a screen. A young girl about ready to jump off the back of a boat. Now, I'm not the best psychologist ever walked the face of the earth, but my guess is she was a little vulnerable. You think? Hurting a little, self-esteem probably not where it needed to be. Very nice-looking young man, very cute. Walked into her life, said all the right words. Within 48 hours was sleeping with her, and we called it love. All I can say is it's a good thing that boy died. Because if he hadn't, we would have found out what that was all about when we hit shore. Thank you. It was fun. See ya. Students, hear what God says love is. Love is patient. It's kind. It's not rude. It's not selfish. It would never damage someone and hurt them. It's not love, it's selfishness. I was speaking for the Diocese of Covington, Kentucky. We had about 4 Catholic high schools bust into an auditorium, everybody at once. I was in the back of this auditorium in Covington, and about 8 girls from one of the schools got around me. Girls do things in packs. And these 8 girls got around me, and they said, Pam, you know that thing you said today? You said there were guys with integrity, with character, who wouldn't pressure us for sex, who wouldn't dump us if we wouldn't sleep with them. Well, you've not been to our school. There's not a guy at our school like that. All they want is sex, and if you won't sleep with them, you'll be dateless. I said, girls, you're wrong. That is absolutely not true. There are guys at your school who, if you put a boundary down, would respect you. In unison. These girls looked at me and said this. Well, then why do we always date such losers? Try to speak the truth in love. I work hard at that. Girls, take a look in the mirror. What are you settling for, girls? Girls, you want respect? You have to demand it. You want to get used, walked all over, be the next notch on someone's belt? I got a little word of advice for you today. Start it here and get used to it. You're going to get used for the rest of your life. You want respect, you have to demand it. You demand respect, you get it. Girls, I'm saying this to you, please hear my heart today, because if you do not, you will pay the higher price. The score is not even. Then there's herpes. I spent a lot of time on herpes. Let me just say this. Herpes is a virus. One of the more common diseases among young people and adults in our country today. Herpes is a virus. What does that mean? You get it, you got it for life. You'll give it to your spouse someday. There is no cure, okay? It's forever. Basically, it's sores on your genital area that reoccur on occasion throughout your life. We used to think it was, that was no big deal. Actually, it's so common now that we have to endure commercials. When I'm watching television with my children, it's very nice, beautiful girl. I think she's riding a bike, and also I have genital herpes. If you have genital herpes, you can take this medication. It may cause diarrhea, vomiting, and nausea. And I'm thinking, whatever that is, I want that. So nice, Students, everybody, of all people over the age of 12 in this nation, 1 out of 5 of everyone over the age of 12 is infected with herpes today, a virus. You don't get to say, oops, wish I wouldn't have that. It is for life. That's not the number 1 STD, though. The number 1 sexually transmitted disease in this country and around the world is human papilloma virus, HPV. This is a virus. What does that mean? You get it, you got it for life. No cure. You will give it to everyone you have sex with after infection. This is not only the most common virus, this is the most contagious. Not transmitted the same way as HIV. We'll talk about that in a minute. Street name for HPV is genital warts. Basically warts on your genital area that need to be burned off periodically, either through laser surgery or chemicals. We used to think that was the only big deal. It's kind of gross. Have to have some warts burned off now and then. Till we realized a few things about this. Number 1 is this. You can have this virus, and you can be giving it to other people without ever having warts. In fact, the most cancerous strains of this virus don't produce warts at all. Girls, if you do get warts or lesions as a result of being infected with this virus, typically girls, they will be on your cervix. When was the last time you saw your cervix? I had an 8th grade boy in Detroit look up at me and go, I don't know. Said, you don't have one, honey, breathe. Girls, this is not a part of your body. You can see, okay? I know that when I say genital warts at a high school, I know I've women sitting in this room who've had sex, who in your mind are going to do this. Well, she said that wart thing, and I have never seen a wart down there. I don't have that. If you have not been specifically tested by a physician for the virus, and hear me very carefully, to be tested for the virus is a very expensive blood test that is almost never done. Certainly never done at free clinics. And so we got all kinds of kids going, well, I got tested. I went down to the free clinic, paid $5, and I don't have anything. Absolutely not. We can't afford to test you for the virus. What we do is require all women who've had sex to undergo a pap smear yearly, at least, if not every 6 months, to in fact make sure that you don't get the eventual result of the virus, or possible result of the virus, which is cervical cancer. Guys, this is, HPV is kind of annoying, and having warts burned off your genital area on occasion is painful. I'm guessing, I don't know, but I think it probably would be. And I would hate to have to be there when you had to tell the girl you loved and want to marry that you were going to give this to her. That won't be any fun. But you're going to live. Girls, this is a big deal for you. HPV is the #1 causal agent of cervical cancer in women. We've got young girls as young as 18, 19, and 20 undergoing radical hysterectomies because of cervical cancer. Dealt with a senior last year. Came up to me, was being real tough. Oh, yeah, I have HPV. I have cervical cancer. I've had numerous cryosurgeries on my cervix. It's been frozen numerous times, and the cancer now spread to the uterus, and I'm getting a hysterectomy in 3 weeks, just before she graduated from high school. She said, Pam, it doesn't matter. Kids are noisy, smelly, and they cost a lot of money, and I don't want any. Then she got a little teary. She said, I'm just trying to deal with the fact that I'm going to have to tell the man that I love and want to marry that if he marries me, neither will he. It's worth it, girls? Girls, do you realize that more women died in this country in 1997 of cancer-related illness due to this disease than died of AIDS? This STD is killing more women currently than is HIV. Second leading cause of cancer death in women, and we're not talking about this? Not telling our daughters this? I had a 10th grader stop me after an assembly in tears. She said, Pam, 3 months ago I went to a party, got drunk. Girls, can I love you just a minute? You can have all the right answers today. No, I want respect. I don't want scarred tubes. I don't want cancer. I don't want all that. I'm going to wait. And then one night you get drunk and have no concept what it is you're doing. Please don't drink. Please don't use any kind of drug that would alter your ability to choose. This girl had been drunk. She had sex with this guy. Now she's scared. What do? I said, you need to get tested. Do it today. Please go to your family physician, use your insurance, and ask to be tested for everything. Please do that. She called my hotel that night in tears. She said, Pam, I have HPV, visible warts on the cervix. They didn't even need to wait for a blood test. For life. She's going to give this virus to everyone she has sex with from this point on. Who knows what it'll mean to her ability to have children, cancer, we don't know. And in tears, she said this. Well, why didn't you come to my school 3 months ago? Nobody told me this. Didn't know. Hung up the phone, sat alone that night and thought, would she have heard me? Think she would have listened? Or would she have sat like hundreds of teens and still found a way to say, it's not going to happen to me. Students, you're not playing the same game I was playing. You're not playing the same game your parents were playing. Good morning, it's not 1974. If you'd have graduated from high school in 1967, maybe we have some staff here who can remember that year. If you'd have graduated in 67, 1 in 32 of your classmates would have had a sexually transmitted disease. You would have had to have had a few partners. If you'd have graduated with me in the dark ages of 1983, 1 in 18 of my classmates had a sexually transmitted disease. In 1996, it was 1 in 4. What are the chances now that you could have sex with someone who has been with someone before you, is not a virgin, and not get a disease? Not good. And we're talking about this virus, not the other 29 diseases. Just one virus. They now estimate that 47% of sexually active singles, that's a specific group, that is not everyone in this room. 47% of the teens who have already had sex are already infected with this virus. That's 1 out of 2. And there is not a condom in the world that will protect you from this. This is not a disease of blood and semen. This does not necessarily take the exchange of body fluids for you to be infected, students. This is a disease of the entire genital area. All it takes is skin contact anywhere in the genital area, and you're infected for life, and will infect everyone you have genital contact with after that. Let me make this really clear today. It doesn't take sex. You know how many girls I've had in my office test positive for both herpes and HPV who were technically virgin? Thought they could do